Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Florida Governor DeSantis shows resolve in a bet on digital assets. He says, basically, I am not bothered at all or fazed by cryptocurrency in the recent dip in the market. You know what? Governor DeSantis got diamond hands. That's what he got. Yeah, so do I. Take a look at this from Michael Arrington right here. On an average, top Web3 artists have earned 7.5 times more from selling music NFTs than their estimated earnings from a year's worth of Spotify streams. Shame on you, Spotify. This makes the case clear. Independent artists can earn substantially more through music NFTs than streaming. Just as important, however, this is entirely additive. Selling music NFTs does not take away from your streaming earnings. So now you have another source of revenue. Very excited for intellectual property owners, especially musicians out here, to be able to get their property, their work, really recognized in a monetary way where they were really decimated in the Internet of Information age. Look here. This is quite interesting, and we're going to need some help from all of you in the UK to substantiate this. Adam has reached out to us personally. I certainly believe what he's saying here, but we're just looking for a deeper pool of people to support what's happening here, and it's not just happening to a friend of his, but he says a friend of his is getting into crypto in the UK, but Uphold and WireX aren't taking on new customers. He doesn't know why. Anyone know what exchange you can buy XRP on? I do know that you can, well, I'm in the US, but I do know that you can get XRP on BitTrue, but I usually have to trade into that. I send an asset over and then get it if I were to do it that way. But that's just me. I can get it still on Uphold. Thankfully, I love Uphold and very grateful for that. But one of the things that I thought as soon as I heard this was like, wait a minute. JP Theriot told us that they were going to have something going on, whether it was some kind of a merger, acquisition, IPO at some point, about 6 months or so. And then I started thinking, well, wait, if they're not allowing any new customers, but it could be WireX too, so maybe it's a regulatory issue in the UK right now. I don't know, but it did make me FOMO a little bit. I went here on Link2 where you can get Uphold private equity and saw that it's still available. Whew. So I was like, yes. So if you want to get Uphold or any other great product on Link2, don't forget it's there. But that is a reminder that, you know, when things happen, it's not available anymore, and then they make a public exit of some sort. So, you know, all of that day is coming. So here's another day that's coming. Take a look at this. This is a great video put together here by Digital Asset Investor. He says, so many people think Bitcoin, XRP, and digital currencies are about green candles and making money. The stakes are actually much higher. Digital currencies are and always have been about the petrodollar. It was always done. It was all done to prevent World War III. I really do believe that is not lofty at all. I believe that the intention of digital assets is to ultimately have something like XRP serve as a bridge currency to relieve the stress of the US dollar as the global reserve currency. Now, we don't all have to subscribe to that, but I have always believed that, and I think we're both in alignment on that matter. But take a listen to this clip right here.
The standard of living of all Americans can be traced back to here, the vast oil-rich deserts of Saudi Arabia.
In the early 70s, after the Arab crisis happened with the oil embargoes, OPEC basically tripled the price of oil to the Western world. And at that time, America realized that they were vulnerable because they were importing about 70% of all the oil they consumed.
To secure a reliable foreign source of oil, U.S. President Richard Nixon sent his Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Henry Kissinger to Saudi Arabia for a secret meeting. The result was a pact that still stands to this day.
If Saudi Arabia, which at the time was the world's largest producer of oil, would sell the oil in US dollars, America would defend Saudi Arabia and make sure the House Assad would stay in power.
As a direct result of this U.S.-Saudi agreement, all other oil-producing nations also adopted the dollar as the de facto medium of exchange. Demand for it increased exponentially all over the world, and soon it had a new name, the petrodollar.
Your currency is only as strong as the demand for it, just like anything else, the supply and demand. Why the petrodollar is important, it causes a demand for the US dollar. A lot of Americans don't realize that over 70% of all the $100 bills in the world are actually outside of the US. There's more $100 bills in Russia than there are in America.
This stockpile of US dollars in countries around the world is because oil is bought and sold using the greenback.
If oil starts trading in non-petrodollars, such as gold or a basket of currencies, or if China and Russia start trading in yuan and ruble rather than US dollars, that demand isn't there. And the way of life for the average American will be done. It will be worse than the Great Depression.
And there you have it. So now let me show you this right here. There you go. We've covered this. Kremlin reveals new independent Russian-Chinese financial system. Now, we've covered that, but it doesn't stop there, and this is to get around SWIFT and the sanctions that are imposed by the United States through using SWIFT as a tool to hurt the other countries they want to sanction. Now, take a look at this. This just came out yesterday. Russia and China agreed to a 30-year gas deal via new pipeline to settle in euros. This is obviously a move away from the US dollar, period, full stop. Where this goes, I don't know. How quick effects could be felt on the US dollar from these two countries moving off of settlement of the US dollar for their 30-year gas deal, I don't know. But I do know that this is the beginning of the unraveling of the US dollar dominance around the world. That's my thought on that. Now let's take a look at this, because while all of that is happening, Ashish Burla from RippleNet's talking about compliance. Let's take a look at this thread really quickly here. Compliance. Regulation is coming. Example, FinCEN discussion of proposed unhosted wallets resurfacing today, and crypto companies will be scrambling to adhere to a more stringent set of rules. These are likely best served by centralized data-oriented services. 2. On and off ramps, a decade later, and these are still a problem. Centralized financial services providers that can become a crypto gateway by bridging the card networks, banking systems, and domestic rails into the crypto world are still in high demand. What I find interesting about that particular point is that a decade later, and these are still a problem, on and off ramps. Let us not forget, the XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange for the world. So essentially, meaning it is designed to tap into the old legacy structure and bring it into the digital age. Number 3, enterprise custody and security providers. Most companies and or users are not proficient enough to manage their own keys and interfaces into blockchains. Enterprise custody and security providers could help bridge this gap. Hello, RippleNet. Number 4, credit and risk attesters, services that can attest to the credit worthiness of a real-world identity of a crypto address or blockchain namespace, can help unlock new use cases for DeFi, crypto payments, etc. You know, I just think these are really great points that accentuate the functionality of the XRP Ledger as a decentralized exchange. It can act as that on-off ramp interface for the paper friction world into the digital world. It is a decentralized ledger where you compare currencies to digital assets or tokenized assets, period, full stop. So really, really interesting thread going on while we see what's happening around the world. Now let's see what's happening in this case. Oh, this is the one and only Jeremy Hogan right here. Shout out to the Legal Briefs Hogan legal team. news. There we go. Say that 4 times fast. Let's listen to this. This first clip lays out the 3 points from Judge Torres' focus and what's coming here. And he says there's some real evidence that is coming out, and it may come out as soon as within a month or so. Take a listen to this stuff.
You can see that there were requests to seal documents in relation to 3 pending motions. First, Larson's motion to dismiss the case against himself. 2, Garlinghouse's motion to dismiss the case against him. And 3, the SEC's motion to strike the fair notice defense. Now, she's not ruling on these motions, but she is talking about what documents or what parts of documents we, the public, can see.
Now, with that, let's go ahead and move very quickly and go watch this whole video because it is chock full of amazing information as always. So take a look right here because this is where we hear him go into the damage of these letters that were unsealed and the points within it that he felt were most unbecoming for Ripple, but at the end of the day, he still feels like there's a great way to argue this information. Check it out.
Lawsuit. In other words, these 2 documents are part of the SEC's evidence. As we've discussed before, the SEC's argument is that XRP purchasers were looking to Ripple to increase the price of XRP. So, in that light, a couple of paragraphs in here are bad. Let's look at it in general. Whenever Ripple talks about increasing the price of XRP, it's not good for it. Let's take a look at paragraph 5 of the email. Quote, despite a proven track record of being good stewards of XRP, we had continued to hear concerns in the market that Ripple could, hypothetically, sell our 61 billion XRP at any time. So with the decision to lock up 55 billion XRP in escrow, we have given investors a predictable supply schedule, ... close quote. Okay, so that paragraph made the SEC very happy because Ripple does seem to put out a lot of thought and effort into XRP's price, and also the use of the word investors was unfortunate. However,
now let's move very quickly just right here to this little spot and let's hear him talk about think like a lawyer, don't act like one.
think about this email and why it's not all that bad for Ripple. Did you get it? Okay, the answer lies in who the email is to. That's right. This email was only sent to Ripple employees, and the issue is whether the XRP purchasers expected Ripple to increase the price of XRP. And you and other XRP holders back in 2017 never saw this email. So it's largely irrelevant to the issue that's going on today. Good job, well done. But wait, let's look at...
Yep, but wait, let's check this out. So now let's take a look at this part here where he goes into Chris Larson's response that and he picks out there what could be the most supportive for the SEC, because this is how we have to objectively look at this information, right? What is, you got to be honest and look at these things. What is damning for where we are as XRP holders and what is actually a strength? So that's the only way to do it, and he does it better than anybody, I believe, and John Deaton too. Take a look right here.
Looking at Larson's response email dated February 6, 2017, quote, "We believe XRP is uniquely valuable in the new work we're entering as a bridge currency to initially eliminate inefficiencies in the way payment providers finance payment flows. See white paper. Thus, the strategy of focus on connecting banks serves both emerging trends. The more banks connect through Ripple Connect and ILP, the more demand we should see for XRP as an asset to reduce liquidity costs," close quote. I read that part to you because I think it's the best part for the SEC. And again, it's time to play think like a lawyer. What do you think about this email? What do you say? Okay, the email is to an outside investor, but there's nothing in the email to which a reasonable person would infer that Ripple is promising to increase the price of XRP, but it's simply a factual statement that demand for XRP will increase as more banks use Ripple products. You got it, that's the argument, that there's no promise of a price increase in this answer at all.
And there you have it right there. Now let's move quickly to another section here. And again, go watch this whole thing. I just don't want the video to get too long here. It is great all the way through. And you know, he always puts some amazing humor in with his delivery, which is always a treat as well. All right, so now listen right here, because he says the SEC better have more evidence than what he's seeing here. Take a listen, and he lays out some really great points here. Check it out.
XRP's price. I just hope for the SEC that they have more and better evidence than these two documents. But we shall see. These are just two documents that we get to see today, and there will be more released on the 17th. And our final takeaway from the judge's order is this. I think we are going to get a ruling on these 3 dispositive motions very soon. And by that, I mean within a month possibly. In fact, Judge Torres may have already decided and written her orders on 2 of the 3 dispositive motions and just needs to figure out what exhibits can be shown or referenced in her order when they are published. This is definitely a housekeeping order, and these usually happen when a judge is ready to invite people over to their home to take a look at something. So there is one last brief due on February 9 from Ripple, and then hold on to your hats. We could get that long-awaited and key ruling on whether the fair notice defense survives any day now. Exciting times, and thank you for sharing them with me. Until next time.
No, thank you for sharing them with us. I mean, that is amazing right there. We could see a ruling on the fair notice defense within a month. And look, let's give it some room. It could be a little longer, right? But much more is happening than we even realize. And to me, that is very exciting, because understanding how this fair notice defense is going to fall, whether it's in favor of Ripple or whether it is going to get struck down, and I don't expect it to, obviously. Now I'm 12 years short of a law degree, but if they get it, I would think this could move the conversation towards settlement. And again, going to what John Deaton has said, that could be maybe a 90-day process from that kind of a ruling or something. But nevertheless, these things are coming to a head. They have felt so far away, and they are now feeling very, very close. Now, speaking of very close, how close are we with numbers and this chart and the Wave 5, Elliott Wave 5 from Dark Defender, talking about an $8 to $13 XRP, which I wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. Okay, now I can tell you that. Now, taking a look at this here, we see, according to this, we could see is showing in June 21, because this is an old chart that he showed this, and he's showing this out of confidence and saying that nothing has changed from back when he originally shared this chart in March of 2021, and how the larger macro trend of price and action has really not changed anything about that decision from then. And taking a look at this piece of information of recent here, he's showing here some activity that is still supportive to that data he put out from March 2021. So it is exciting, and he says we will see a weekend break if XRP maintains 59-cent support level. We'll keep an eye on it and see. The microstructure towards 75 cents could ultimately be our climb back to getting to a new range. And how about that? How about the idea of getting some fundamentally great news for Ripple's defense and having that be a catalyst to begin to move the price to a new all-time high.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.